A decade ago, I never thought I would be 23 on the verge of spontaneous combustion. What was me? Tune in.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
She's on fire, and she burns through the night at the speed of flame. She's on fire. Guys, we're getting all...
We're burning up in here.
We're throwing it back.
Oh, yeah.
We're seeing the future, so we're going to the past.
Oh, yes.
Sick burn, yo. Welcome to the Sleepy Hollow After Show. We are talking about Sleepy Hollow here today in the building for Season 4, Episode 8. Sick burn.
Sick burn, man.
Sick burn.
Sick burn.
Such a sick burn. There were too many songs that we thought of for this. We had Burn Baby Burn, Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
We had I'm Burning for You.
Yeah.
We went with She's on Fire.
Yeah.
But then we also had Incubus's whatever that song's called, Pardon Me, which opens with On the Verge of Spontaneous Combustion, which is basically what they did. They spontaneously combust.
They were definitely... Well, there was a little lead up. It was like glowing, boom.
Yeah. I was going to open with a line from the genie from Aladdin. I was like, you know, we have genies. I could have quoted X-Files when we had the genie episode, one of the best episodes of the X-Files ever.
Yes.
Tons of songs, really in poor taste to talk about people exploding into fire, but you know what?
You got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. It's all for the views.
Yeah.
It's not for the children.
It's not for the children.
It's for the views.
Yes.
Joining me today to talk about this episode is Michael Young.
Hey guys, how's it going? You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at One Youngster, which is ONEYOUNGSTA.
And you have a new Twitter account that you started for your design stuff.
Oh.
How do people follow that?
Well, you have at One Youngster, and then you have at That Nerd Soul as well. So you have the That Nerd Soul, and then you have a full Tang design as well.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
I just saw. I got followed by it the other day, and I was like, "This design looks like something Michael Young did," and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is definitely Michael Young."
So yeah, at a full Tang design, it's pretty cool.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at Stephen Lemieux, STPHENLEMIEUX, and we are greeted today by a very special guest. The fourth good episode of this season.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have four good episodes, and the last one, which was kind of like a mixed bag, kind of like half and half.
It was only bad because of the character design.
Yeah, everything else was good. It was just that mask.
But let's not get on this, because this episode was good.
Yes.
And this episode, literally, remember, when we were discussing, and I'm predicting, I'm saying, you know what, the whole Jackie Chan Adventures thing, going into the future, and seeing everything all messed up. We're not going there quite yet, but when I saw that,
a couple of visions.
Yeah, and when I saw Ichabod all bedraggled Samurai Jack style with the scar, I'm like, oh my god, let's get there.
Yes.
Yes.
I know a lot of people would have to die and everything for that to happen, but I thought about your prediction last episode, and I was like, I really want that to happen. I was like, Sleepy Hollow, Fight the Future, or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. Fox will figure it out.
And even those storylines go into the future, kill a bunch of people, and then at the end, if you do something to revert it back and go into the past, I'm not as upset because it makes sense. Because you're already going time travel route. You're already going into the future.
Sure.
So I really like this idea of Molly and Ichabod being able to interact across the space-time continuum.
Yeah.
And I think what we're gonna see, Molly's witness spirit interacting with Ichabod's future Ichabod,
gaining knowledge
and figuring out what Dreyfus's weakness is from that. So we do get some information from this too.
Yes.
So the fact is that Dreyfus had this vision of himself meeting Ichabod, future Ichabod, in the White House courtyard. He's destroying democracy, views himself an emperor. Yeah. This is kind of like a vision of what could be, I'm assuming. We'll get into why he's having these visions or what is actually leading these visions in a moment. Obviously, they're tied to something deeper than just an LSD trip because Molly had a vision of Ichabod later on. So obviously there's some truth to this timeline.
Yeah, I think because if you're watching Sleepy Hollow, you probably, watch other shows that are like maybe like supernatural or, sci-fi led. And I believe what they're seeing is a possible future, but is the main future right now if we stay on this course. But of course, there's splinters, there's time splinters, stuff like that. I mean, if you're into Terminator, there's like 8
John
timelines.
Connor.
Yeah, there's like 8 timelines. But I think that this is the prevailing future as of now. But I do think, like we've seen in this episode, Dreyfuss's main problem is his overconfidence. I think that's going to bite him in the butt because he shows it all the time. Like because he became immortal, I think he thinks he's already won. And there's a couple of more steps before you get to the emperor of Dreyfuss or something like that.
Well, that's the interesting thing is he's getting visions of what he believes the future to be.
Yes.
So whether or not he believes that those are actually visions of the future is yet to be seen. The only reason we can confirm that they could be visions of a possible future is because Molly experienced it as well.
Yep.
If it was just Dreyfuss dozing off and seeing that, then it just kind of seems like, okay, this is just the spirit, whatever's inside of him, kind of messing with his mind.
Yeah, kind of like fantasizing, I guess.
Yeah, but because Molly has now officially interacted with Ichabod from the future, because witnesses have that kind of bond, it gets a little bit more interesting in where we can play around with this in terms of we might have an entire episode in that future with Molly being kind of just there as an observer.
Okay.
Obviously, Dreyfuss believes in it enough to design his own American flag.
Yeah, he's already started the design, and he's the hubris, man. I think he's going to get him. I think that's what it's going to be. I think he's going to be relaxed a little too much on, hey, I'm immortal, I'm going to win just because I'm going to win. It's kind of like he has the talent, but he's not training. But Ichabod might not have all the talent, but Ichabod's, he's doing 2-a-days. He's drinking his Gatorade. He's doing his pull-ups, and he's doing everything that he needs to do, running suicides and stuff. And then when they combat, Ichabod will have a little bit of the edge on him.
So what I think would be really interesting, and this is kind of a prediction, so we're going a little off topic, I'm sorry, but is right now, like, what I really loved about this show in the first season was the whole concept of 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
And we've killed the Headless Horseman like 3 times now.
Yes.
We've gotten rid of the other horsemen a few times. We never really saw all of them except for that one time. Yeah. But what I think would be really interesting is if they end this season as the finale of the Horseman of Death, right? Headless Horseman was the Horseman of Death?
No. Wasn't he War? Because I thought
he might
the
have
son
been War.
was Death. And I'm sure you guys will let us know in the chat. But I think Ichabod's son was Death. I think.
Yeah.
I think he was.
Something, but he got brought back a little bit.
Yeah.
So what I think would be really cool is if we look at these 4 seasons, and these 4 seasons are one tribulation, and it's all the Horsemen of Death. Because if Dreyfuss is melded, because we saw that the Horsemen of Death died at the same time as the explosion went off, but at the same time, what Dreyfuss was drinking was
kind of like his essence.
His essence mixed with Ichabod's essence. So Dreyfuss has a connection to the witnesses now, but he also has a connection to the Headless Horseman. So the visions actually might be his witness connection, and the black lines and everything might be his Headless Horseman connection. If Dreyfuss technically becomes the Horseman of War and is possessed by the Horseman of War, which is immoral, then if he's defeated at the end of this season, these 4 seasons could potentially all have been one single tribulation.
Okay.
And it really raises the stakes because you have the witnesses having to take on 7 tribulations to prevent the apocalypse. And one of them is 4 seasons in which a witness has died and been replaced already. And all of this stuff happens within one tribulation. Cool. Like, I think that's...
Even though we had some issues with 2 and 3,
yeah,
that kind of helps you bear the other two. It kind of helps them in continuity a little bit.
And we're also looking at this as, okay, if I look at this as Dreyfus becomes the ruler of the world later on, that in itself, the Horsemen of War controlling the world, is in itself kind of an apocalypse. So, going along this reasoning of thought, this makes sense as a tribulation. This makes sense as one tribulation. The entire start of season 1 to the end of this, if they defeat Dreyfus, if Dreyfus is the Headless Horseman incarnate.
Oh, and your Headless is...
Death. Headless was death. Henry was
Headless
war.
Henry was war. Okay, cool.
So, interesting... The Headless Horseman of Death being immortal. I mean, when what he's trying to avoid is death. So it'd be very ironic, very cool, and then we can move on with next season being the next tribulation.
Or pestilence or whoever. And big shout, thank you to Ivan Soto and Kristen Collins in the chat for letting us know that, because you guys, you got your fingers on Google already, so thank you.
I mean, what do you think of that in the chat? If these 4 seasons... we're all just one of the 7 tribulations.
That could make this show as long running as like Smallville or Supernatural or anything like that, and while staying fresh. Because okay, these 4 seasons, they have kind of finally put death to bed, and then maybe like these 3 seasons they put war to bed, and then these 5 seasons they put
here's the thing is, we got so sidetracked with Katrina, with Henry, and all this stuff in seasons 2 and 3 that realistically these 4 seasons are one tribulation if we're going off what I'm predicting. But realistically, you probably only need 1 or 2 seasons to have a tribulation.
Yeah.
So we could be looking at a 10-season show that goes through all 7 tribulations, and season 2 or 3 are just kind of like the murky waters that are shaky. But if they go along with like storylines like this, with working with the future, actually taking advantages of the characters you have with the witnesses and stuff, I could be on board for another 8 seasons.
Yeah, because what we're getting from the team now, I'm not mad at. We've gone through our stumbling blocks of like the first 3 episodes, and I'm not mad at the team we have now. I think they're gelling well. I like how Jenny took on Molly for her like day of like witness hanging out, and I
singing bowl LSD parties,
and helping her get in tune with her kind of like witness supernatural side. And I think that's cool because it's making them less of a team and more of a family now. Like they, and I know it's Fast and Furious. I know it's a family, but still, I like how they're really doing a great job of making these people care about them caring about each other. They've done a very good job of that.
It's just I want to go back to the original canon of this show.
Yes,
which
I
was
do want to do that.
2 witnesses.
Yes.
7 tribulations.
Yes. So we're hopefully going to circle back to that sooner or later, because they have dropped in a lot of stuff. They still brought up Corbin this episode, things like that. So I think they are trying to slowly pepper in. I think they finally put Abby to bed for now, as far as like, because they referenced her
too
hard.
Much.
In like the first 5-6 episodes, they referenced her like hard. But I think they're finally ready to be like, okay, now we can kind of move forward with showing Molly her powers and her skill set and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, like make her usable. And you know what? The future is a perfect way to do that. She doesn't have to be in harm's way. She's basically a spy viewing the future, and Ichabod's doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, you're right. And because I was figuring how they were going to have her engage, and I figured she'd have to be something long range. Like maybe she learned to be a witch, like a good witch. And, maybe she could do like long range spells, so she could be at home with like maybe Jenny protecting her while she casted spells or something. I don't know. Just something where she was far from the battlefield.
I don't know if she'll be a witch, but again, we got that scene with Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
We got the scene. It was Uncle Sam, Sacagawea, Davy Crockett and Jennings.
Yeah, Paul Jennings. And the cool thing is, that was, in a way, I kind of laughed at that, but it was kind of like the founding Avengers. It did look kind of cool for a second when they were like walking towards the camera. It's like, we are the founding Avengers.
You know what it was like, actually? It was like Jake, Ichabod, Jenny, and Diane. You mean it was like the demon hunting team we have now. So it's kind of interesting that our demon hunting team is kind of a re-envision of the old revolutionary demon hunting team, which I think is really cool, because if we go into the future Ichabod again, where's Jenny in that?
Yeah.
Where's Jake and Alex in that? Where's because we actually didn't have a witness on that team. So if we're going to look at that demon hunting team, and if they're the ones who are going to save Ichabod in the future with Molly's help, then I would assume that it's Jake, Alex, Jenny, and Diane in the future going to save Ichabod.
Yeah, because...
And they're the demon hunting team with the butcher knives and all that kind of stuff, doing the cool stuff, right?
Yeah, and it's very interesting to, start sort of like this look into a possible future, because maybe next season we could get, and I know this might ruffle some feathers due to how the season went, but season 2 of Helix, where you were getting like a little bit of the future, a little bit of the past, and kind of like, but just
a smidgen
differently, but kind of like maybe, following Ichabod around, seeing, maybe those battles and maybe key moments where, you could have beat Dreyfus this way, or you could have, beat Job that way, or trapped someone else, or trapped the Justin Bieber guy another way, or something like that. And then, bring that information back once she's out of her trance, her meditation trance or whatever, and kind of like, I guess, report to the team, her findings or whatever. So, and also, would it be cool if she would be vulnerable in that state? Like, say if she goes to the future and maybe Dreyfus can't see her and regular people can't see her, but Job can.
Yeah, and let's talk about Job, because Job didn't really seem too on board with what's going on right now.
I think we're starting to see that beginning of the breakup.
A little bit.
Like, there's a relationship for like 5 years, and it's like, you've been breaking up for like the last year, though.
Here's the thing that's interesting about Job is the deal was Dreyfus gets the life he deserves in exchange for his soul.
Yes.
How is ruling the world the life he deserves?
True.
So that's what I think the fine print's gonna be.
Yeah.
Is that this is the life you deserve, but you are no longer on that path.
Yeah, you're trying to get a little bit more than what we both agreed upon.
Yeah, and if I can't get your soul, so the contract is now null and void.
Yeah, because I was always wondering why, like, if the I guess the light at the end of the tunnel for Job would be, oh, I get your soul. But if you're not getting the soul, then why are you still hanging around? And like now, like we saw that look on Job's face where he didn't seem too keen on having the Justin Bieber guy and talking about like building his own team. Job didn't seem like he was too ecstatic about that. And this might be the moment where he starts to stray and maybe look for greener pastures. Maybe greener pastures on another team, a team that maybe someone is already on that has respect for him in a way, but doesn't particularly like him. He could maybe switch over and fight with Ichabod and Jenny. Maybe he has a meeting with Jenny, and he just says some things like, hey, I'm not really happy where I am. I want to take my talents to South Beach. Like, so I'm very interested to see how he plays out over the rest of the season, because we only have 5 more episodes.
Let's see.
I think 5-6 more episodes.
Well, this is 8. I think it's a 13 episode season. So
we got 5.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 5 more.
So we got 5, and I'm very interested to see how this plays out. Because we're coming on the back, we're on the back 9 of the season, and things are going to get real intense real fast.
So let's actually break down today's story. Basically, we find out that there's something called picogram. We're allowed to mention Twitter and Facebook, but we can't say Instagram on the show.
And Snapchat.
And Snapchat. I don't understand, but okay, picogram. Picogram, anygram, anytime. So we have Molly showing Ichabod her phone. Ichabod is doing a picogram post, and he isn't really doing it very well.
Like, it's a very bad selfie, kind of like, it's way too close.
And she talks about one of her favorite people who's like sick in the hospital, so Ichabod's like gonna go to the hospital to do that. Meanwhile, we got a double Tinder date going on with Jake, Alex, and Mr. Sleazy at the bar.
Mr. Sleazy.
So Jake's hitting it up with this hot bartender who looks a little bit
Jake
like
was
Eva
holding it down.
Mendez, and you're like, damn.
Jake was kind of smooth in his like updated newsy fashions. You know, I was like, all right, Jake, I see you. Jake was making me proud.
And then we got hotter Kate Mara. Is how we referenced her earlier.
Yeah, Alex
is at the other side of the bar, like saying, help me, because she's with this Tinder date dude. He's not all he's cracked up to be, sweating profusely, and she's like, I'm gonna go, and it's not me, it's you.
It's you.
And then he like chokes up and falls on the ground before spontaneously combusting. Which, you know, I can understand like metaphorically doing that when you get turned down by a Tinder date.
Yeah.
But not actually doing that. I love that Jake's just like, what did you say?
He's like, what did you say to him?
Damn, girl.
Because it's like, I was on the other side of the bar, you said something, and this dude completely collapsed. So, and then we get that cool scene in the hospital where we've been waiting for a moment where they always say, "Oh, there's going to be pandemonium, or there's going to be a massacre or something," and we finally get that scene in this hospital. Like, people are just, you know, panicking. There's fire setting because, of course, people are bursting into flames, and it's very, it's the scene that we were kind of waiting for. It could have been a little longer for me, but of course, you know, this is network TV. You can't just show charred bodies all over the place. But the charred bodies they did show definitely drove the point home.
Really sucks for the doctors, though, right? Like, they just go up in flames with them.
Yeah.
One of those doctors was like 3 days from retirement.
3 days from retirement.
And a daughter in the hospital.
Daughter in the hospital. His wife was at home. Just
Coincidentally,
waiting
the daughter was in the
call.
next room over and could see him spontaneously combust. It was really sad.
It's just a shame. Right behind the curtain.
God. But no, I mean, I would have liked to see a little bit more pandemonium.
Yeah.
Because this was somebody with so many followers. Like, people would be spontaneously combusting all across the nation.
Yeah.
Unless they were just the people who were close enough to the genie's lair to hear his voice.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just the people in D.C.
When they said they got a call from the CDC, I was thinking, oh, there's probably people around the nation. And they said in D.C., I was just like, oh.
Well, actually,
but I was like, okay.
When I think about it, though, it's a copy of The Curse from Before.
Yeah, okay.
So The Curse from Before was people of Washington, D.C., so it actually makes sense that it's only affecting people from Washington, D.C. Because they only embedded the curse subliminally into the video. So I think nothing would really change from back then to now. So I'll give them that. Somebody said, like the security guard. Yes,
man.
like the security
just
guard.
Like the security guard, man. Just 3 days.
I would rather be like turned into dust like that than spontaneously combusted and have my soul feed a genie.
Yeah.
Sounds a little bit harsher. But yeah, so I mean, cool concept. The people are like blowing up. The dude is like protecting a girl from running across the street, and he gets blown up with her.
Yeah,
Ichabod goes out there and yells, "Your mobile devices are turned into weapons! Please put them down!"
Man, it was just funny. The people were just like, who's this guy? And like, there was one guy that like dropped his glasses like, whatever. Like, everybody's just like, yeah, okay. And went back to their phones. And
it's ironic because like, if somebody says something's really funny, it's a video, and you're like, you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, okay, let me check it out.
I just recently got hooked on this stupid meme, the shooting stars meme.
Oh man, is that the? Hold up, is that the one? Is that the Shooting Star Star Wars one, or is it another one? Because I saw one that was Shooting Star Star Wars, where it has like Palpatine flying all over the place, and
no, it's that meme.
Oh, okay,
but except it's one's Palpatine. That one was really funny. One's like SpongeBob.
Wow.
One's Squidward jumping through a vortex and just falling through everything and then landing in his bed. Like,
So it's like you have to watch it
Yeah,
almost.
they're
Everybody's like, hey, check it out.
Look up the Shooting Stars memes, like a compilation video, and you'll be laughing really hard if you have a stupid sense of humor like me.
Yeah, it's just like, because at first it's like, huh? And then it's like...
And the song is just
hilarious.
ridiculous. Neil, can we play the song real quick, just so people know?
Oh,
So,
man.
if somebody was like, hey, don't go look at this really hilarious meme because it's going to kill you, you're going to be like, oh, it's going to kill me laughing.
Yeah, you'd be like, check it out.
Like, listen to the song, man. It's so catchy, and you're just watching people flying through random scenes, like swimming with dolphins, hitting supernovas, and flying into each other.
Oh man, it's just
what?
dumb. It's just completely. It's like dumb and funny at the same time.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
So if someone told you that, like, hey man, everybody's watching this thing, everybody's sharing it. Sooner or later, you're watching, even if it's on accident, you might scroll through your picogram feed and see it on accident and say, oh, what's this? Oh, it's kind of funny. And then, maybe an hour later, you're like, man, I'm extremely hot.
I'm really burning up.
I'm burning up.
I got that thirst.
I'm burning up. And then next thing you know, you're glowing and you're dead.
Whoa, buddy, I'm burning up. Everyone's just getting in a fight right now about comparing Robbie K, who portrayed Logan, to Justin Bieber. Everyone's just fighting in our chat roll about comparing anyone to Justin Bieber. Also, Ivan Soto, you said to Jin, not Ginny, but they say that Jin was the original, but then the French people called it Genet.
Yeah. And then, now the current normal, term usage is genie. So, it's okay to use that. It's okay.
I think it's funny that they filmed an entire movie called Rings about watching a mobile phone device video and then getting killed by the little girl who's stuck in a well for some reason.
Yeah.
I have a poll going on the Twitter page right now to let you know if you agree with me or not. It is Sleepyheads. We're talking Sleepy Hollow. Are season 1 through 4 all just part of one of the seven tribulations? So let me know what you think of that theory. And while you're doing that, go to iTunes, rate us 5 stars, leave us a comment.
Yes.
It's really easy. I'm going to try to find... Oh, shit. Oh, crap. That was the first one of the episode. iTunes is being really weird right now in that I can't search for most recent.
Our newer
reviews? It won't show us the newer reviews, so I have to filter through all of them to try to find the ones from 2017, because it's just showing me all the ones from 2013, which is surprising to think that I've been doing this show since 2013.
That's a good thing. That's history right there.
It is history right there.
But it's cool that we got to see, after,
I'm not done yet.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not done yet. Guys, please, if you're watching the YouTube, hit that thumbs up and be sure to leave a comment after the video is done playing. After the stream is over. Your comments in the chat roll, they don't save. We can't reply to them. If I miss Ivan Soto saying, nope, only on Heroes Reborn 24, I won't be able to reply to that unless you're commenting completely out of context in the video afterwards. So yeah, I'll give a shout out to you guys right now. Jacob Alberts, Ivan Soto, Lisa Garris, Ira Garris. We got 2 Garrises in there. Kristen Collins in the chat.
Word up.
Sissification. Got a bunch of the same people as usual, so thank you, Billie Jean Girl 24. Thanks for watching live, guys. We always appreciate you watching live, but also be sure to hit us up after the video's done. Leave a comment and say, hey, I gotta watch you guys every week, because we do tape this Sundays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you ever want to watch live, that's when we'll be here. If you're in Eastern Time, that's 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
Still a good time.
Yeah.
To sit down and talk about Sleepy Hollow.
Thank you for watching. What were you saying? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, the cool thing is that we got to see a deeper relationship with Jake and Alex. They're road dogs. They've been down there together for a long time, and he's like, I'll sacrifice for you because you're my friend. And they got, they had that nice little hug at the end where she was just like, huh? You sacrificed yourself for me. It was nice. It was nice. It was nice to see that. And then the nice family moment of the selfie at the end. It was just really nice. Also, it was nice to learn that we got the quick answer of the internet. It's like server. It's like he was in a server room or a server farm, and Ichabod was like, "What's that?" It's like, "It's where the internet is." It's just like a quick throwaway. Server farms are where the internet is.
That's where the internet's born.
That's where it goes down.
I thought the creature design was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't Arabic enough. Like the head thing was,
Yeah,
but then it looked like he was wearing some weird armor kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think a little bit more genie would have been cool.
Yes. And the way that the people burned up when they touched him, or like
it was very Tron.
When he I guess absorbed them, it could have been different. But I think it drove the point home.
Yeah, I mean it worked. I just think the creature design has been a little bit off this season.
Yeah, especially when we got such a cool burn. The burn
like,
unit
that was really cool.
Yeah, that burn unit effector design or whatever, that was really cool. I was like, man, those guys are charred beyond recognition.
Right.
And then we kind of get to the Jinn.
Like I would have thought it was really cool if the Jinn was one of like the charred bodies just walking around. Like that would have been cool, or at least his hands or something. But it was like just like a slow burn, like coals, which was kind of cool. I mean, I don't know. What did you guys think of the characters with the creature design this episode? It was certainly better than last episode.
Yes,
so I'm not really. I can't really get on it too much. I felt it was really out of place. I felt like having him be in the server room was just really weird.
Yeah, it was. I was wondering if he would be. I was surprised that he was in a server room.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised about that. But I was wondering, and I guess you guys in the chat can chime in. I was wondering if, they would ever try to, because when Alex got infected, I thought they were going to try to put her like in a bathtub of water to try to keep her cool or something like that. And nobody tried to like hose down the people. I mean, I guess it's like a bad idea maybe, but to try to keep their body temperatures low, because they did that syringe of the wood, the North African wood.
And wormwood.
Yeah, wormwood and stuff to like drop her body temperature. So I'm like, couldn't that work if you just like put everybody in like a, like in a really cold bathtub with like ice cubes and stuff and try to just keep them.
They couldn't book Ice Cube for the taping.
All right.
Moving on. We do get at the end Mr. Dreyfus meeting with YouTube star, and the YouTube star. Here's the question: the Beebs. Did you get the feeling that he was possessed by the genie, or did you get the feeling that more it's like he's just after power and working with Dreyfus?
I think it's weird because in one of his statements, it sounded like he was possessed by the jinn or the genie or whatever. But then when he was talking about getting more and more powerful, I was like, well, is he just a regular guy that's just out for supernatural power? So I don't think they really clearly described that.
Yeah, it was weird. I'm sure we'll find out later.
Yeah.
But I think an interesting thing would be to have Molly see him in the future. And give them like a clue to like, why am I seeing this guy here next to Dreyfus?
Yeah.
Like, why is he the one torturing Ichabod or something like that?
That could be a cool drop, because then they would know that he is definitely part of his evil team.
He's like going to go start singing Eva Net Niage.
Ah.
Anyone get that reference? No? Anyone? Eva Net Niage? Do you know what it is?
No idea at all.
Eva Net Niage, backwards, is Join the Navy from The Simpsons when they did the boy band and filmed an entire music video about Join the Navy and subliminal messaging.
Wow.
So...
The Simpsons.
Join the Navy. Yeah, The Simpsons did it. Sorry,
join
Sleepy
the
Hollow.
Navy, not Dreyfus. That's our message to you guys.
So we're going to do something fun with our last 4 minutes here. Instead of Sleepington Abbey...
Predictions? Or
we already did predictions.
Yeah.
Let's do Holly app design. So we're bringing back Holly, and he's really trying to sell this app that spontaneously combusts you.
All right.
You go first.
Hey, I'm Holly. Got this amazing app.
Oh my God, your southern accent is terrible. It's as bad as my British one when we were Sleepington Abbey. Can we get an instrumental of Sweet Home Alabama in the background?
Oh yeah.
I think we need that to make this bit actually work.
To bring it on home.
Or just the music from a Lincoln commercial, because it's basically Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
But I think Sweet Home Alabama will work.
crazy to imagine.
You don't need it too loud.
Here we go.
Hey y'all, I'm Holly. It's good to be back. If y'all have a smartphone or a Lincoln, you just go to that app store and download Fire. That's what I call my app. It gives you fire in the loins. You feel like going to a bar and meeting a guy on Tinder. Well, Tinder makes fire. You don't like that date, all you have to do is open up that Fire app, watch a little video of myself, and you'll just burst into flames.
Get that sick burn.
Yeah. Nothing says romance like flames of passion. I drive Lincolns, but I also use fire. All right, you go ahead. All right.
I see you over there. All you want to do is date. But are you dating the right people? Don't give the cold shoulder.
Need to warm that shoulder up. I know one way you can do it. Download Fire.
Fire.
Leave us a rating on the iTunes store. Your experience spontaneously combusting into flames of passion.
That's right, guys. You don't want that cold shoulder.
This app is not rated by the FCC.
The thoughts and views from the app are solely from the creator.
We are not liable for any spontaneous combustion in the use of the Fire app. We do not endorse Holly. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Could you imagine, like, you had a bad date and just send flames on them? I hated that date. Flames.
If you go on a date and you ain't into it, all you gotta do is send them this video. Date over.
It's not me, it's you.
No need to call them back when they turn into charred cinder.
On tender.
How do you like your steak?
Well done.
All right, I think that's enough.
Oh, man.
Not an app that I would download.
There's
From the creators of Tinder, now we have Fire.
Yeah, I would
fucking kill the person if you don't like the date.
I would definitely stay away from that.
Yeah, I would too.
Stay away from that app.
If you would download Fire, hit that thumbs up button on this video below. Guys, that is the end of our show.
Yes. We had a good time, man. This was a good episode. We had a good time. We're getting deeper with the team. I'm excited about where this show is going to go, and it's a 180 from where we started. So I'm glad. I'm definitely glad.
Yeah, 180. Yeah.
It's
a 900 from where we started.
It's a
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Yo, Pro Skater was sweet
If
back
you
in
like
the day.
to gamble until you have your run.
Yo, Pro Skater was sweet though.
It was.
Like back in the day. I even got over 1 million points, and I was like, you couldn't tell me anything after that. I was like,
Getting younger in my mind. Down the streets. Dude, that's some of the best soundtracks were Tony Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Yeah, those were, because it was a great mix. You had all kinds of genres, and they were all great to skate to.
Dude, games are boss.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're talking about it right now. You guys can find me on Twitter at Stephen Lemieux, STPHENLEMIEUX, and tweet me your favorite tracks from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Yes, and you can find me at OneYoungster, which is ONEYOUNGSTA, and also tweet me your favorite tracks from Tony Hawk Pro Skater, because I used to love that game. I used to love it.
It's so good.
But one thing that we all also love is Sleepy Hollow. We're
Hell
back.
yeah.
We're back. Sleepy Hollow is back. I'm excited.
Good night, sleepyheads. We'll see you next week.
Take it easy.
Insatiable is the next episode.
Ooh. Insatiable fire.
If you're insatiable, download Fire.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Great thing about fire, they keep the same age. I ruined that. I ruined that so bad.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.